What is up, YouTube? We have another Patreon. Did I say what is up, YouTube? What is up, family? We have another Patreon request. We got every F1 team explained in 14 minutes. This is going to be really interesting because I don't even know one single team in Formula One. Not even one. Not even one, people. Not even one. I don't really watch it, not going to lie. I don't really watch it. First of all, I don't even watch TV. Barely ever. So where would I, how could I even know if like a big Formula One thing was about to happen? No one would tell me. Anyway, now I have to learn the teams. Okay, teach me, Mr. Video.
Mercedes, Ferrari, Aston Martin.
Mercedes is like giving us the finger. What's up with that?
Alpine, Renault, Haas, Williams,
In baguette.
Red Bull, McLaren, Sauber, and Racing Bulls. Now what you're looking at right here, ladies and gentlemen, is not just the stupidest group of photos put together, but also the 10 teams that have made Formula One what it is.
French, baguette, and toxic and papa. These are the actual names of the teams?
Today. And since explaining F1 is what I think I do best, I'm gonna explain each and every one of these teams to you guys in this video.
Idiots?
Their history,
Ferrari are the idiots.
Some other stupid stuff that you probably don't need to know about, but I'm gonna say it regardless.
Banana
I've taken many things into consideration as well to make sure this video is as accurate as possible. We haven't got all day. Oh my god. Like Sauber turning into Audi and Alpine potentially going bankrupt. Or getting sponsored by OnlyFans. I really hope that doesn't happen, but if it does, I expect the drivers to drive the cars butt booty naked with their assholes clenched. So if you're a new fan, hopefully this video helps you in choosing which team to support.
That's Remy.
For those of you veteran
Ça c'est Remy Gaillard.
fans, I know you guys are just here for shits and giggles or what I have to say about your favorite team, but maybe you get to learn some new facts as well. So anyways, let the yapping begin.
It's a Ferrari! It's a shitbox!
Now, a lot of you guys might expect me to define this team as the brain-dead ones, the clowns in Formula One who keep on making mistakes, and the idiots who decide to put hard tires on in a track that is clearly slippier than P. Diddy's baby oil. And as much as that is extremely true, Ferrari is still a huge part of Formula One. It is the biggest team in the sport, the most successful, has the largest fan base out there.
Everybody's a Ferrari fan.
And has the proudest history to look back on, from Michael Schumacher winning 5 championships to Charles Leclerc's iconic wins in Monza. As much as I love clowning on these guys, Ferrari is truly the heart of Formula One. That F1 pays them up to $50 million a year just to exist. And for good reason too, because without these guys, 40% of F1 fans would just go But jumping forward to Ferrari now, the team has become more of a meme because they can have the highest highs.
2008 is present. Oh, this is old as hell, this video.
But eventually have the lowest of the lows. Like Charles Leclerc could win a race, but then sometime later the Ferrari headquarters in Maranello would just magically set itself on fire. So this results in extreme mood swings for the average Ferrari fan. One race they could be joyful, and then bam, they want to kill themselves by next week. And Ferrari is also what I call the biggest driver edger. Pardon my lack of better wording, but it's because so many of their drivers have come so close to winning a championship, but because of some goofy shenanigans that I swear to God only happens in a team like Ferrari, they end up either scarred for life or start balding. Sometimes both. Haas are the underdogs of F1, one of the most underrated teams in the sport, and rooting for them is actually so much fun. Because supporting Haas is like supporting a fat friend with an eating disorder.
50 dead in Alaska!
You see, like Haas doing horrible in races, it's like seeing your overweight friend not do that well in any form of physical activity. But when you see them making progress, you feel like the proudest dad in the world, and that is exactly what supporting Haas is like. When Romain Grosjean gets P4 in a race, if you're a Red Bull fan, it's just an average Tuesday. But if you're a Haas fan, it feels like you've on a fully paid 2-week vacation to Tahiti. But as I've said, fat friend with an eating disorder, so progress isn't going to be so easy, so expect Haas to be in the back of the grid or midfield 50% of the time. Also, they are the youngest team that joined in 2016, it's an American race team owned by Gene Haas, and they struggle with funding a lot, but that's what makes their good results even more special. And speaking about a team with a similar trait, we move to Aston Martin, which started off as Jordan, then became Force India, but then the owner of the team got arrested for debt evasion, and so it turned into Racing Point and now Wingstop. pretty much. Also, if you didn't know, F1 teams can change sponsors or owners, hence the name changes over the years. But what I love so much about this team, especially during its Racing Point days, is that this is a team that tries to do more with less. Back then, they never had the top personnel or resources, but they were still able to compete against top teams in years like 2020. It was so impressive, except for the fact that they got fined for allegedly copying Mercedes. But the team has changed drastically, and thanks to billionaire Lawrence Stroll funding the team, pretty much just to give his son a rocket ship of a car, because Lance needs a fighter jet to win a race, they are now flooded with resources and top personnel from other teams. But what still sucks about Aston Martin is that nobody supports them. I have not seen more than 5 Aston Martin fans, only Alonso fans. Previously it was Vettel fans, maybe Max in the future, but that just shows Aston's biggest weakness. They have no identity apart from their other driver. Stroll obviously doesn't count because his seat was given to him by his daddy and his ego is thicker than his eyebrows. Now, I know I love mentioning in my previous videos that Red Bull's such a toxic, unhealthy mess of a team, and although, you know, that is very much a fact, Red Bull is still successful as hell. Despite joining in 2005, they have accomplished so much. From Sebastian Vettel's domination era in the 2010s to Max Verstappen's domination in 2022 and 2023. Though what these two eras had in common was that during them, Red Bull was highly unstable, and that is the team's biggest trait. If you didn't know, the team has a whole power dynamic system that causes this instability, you know, different
Did their own drivers just crash into each other?
influences in every sector. Feel free to pause this if you want to digest how everything works, but the most unique
No, I want to see that. I want to see this again. Their teammates.
trait.
Right?
If you didn't know,
Oh yeah, those are teammates.
the team has a whole power dynamic system that causes this instability, you know, different influences in every sector. Feel free to pause this if you want to digest how everything works. But the most unique part is that this actually makes them fast. Unlike Ferrari that has highs and lows separately, Red Bull has highs and lows at the same time. And the most interesting part is, the lower they are, the higher they go. I probably sound so confusing right now, but let me cook. Think of it like this: the more unstable Red Bull is, the more successful they end up. But the thing is, the team is like a boiling pot. It works fine in the right temperature, but if it gets too hot, the food fucking explodes.
Chicken.
So Red Bull works just like that. They're great under pressure, but if there's too much pressure, then boom.
Okay. I would just stick with Ferrari if I didn't know any better.
Everybody's nudes are out for the public.
What?
I really wish I could say that as an exaggeration, but no. Apparently their team principal Christian Horner got his dick pic leaked after sexting an employee, and I also found Max Verstappen's nudes on an Instagram reel. And as of the time I'm recording this, Red Bull is beyond unstable.
Time to speak about the French.
Alpine is a French team, and as much as I just want to end my explanation there, their history is just too good. Alpine is also known as Renault, a French car manufacturer. They've been in F1
It's not Renault, it's Renault.
for a while
Renault.
now, and have had amazing moments like winning championship titles in 05 and 06, but they've also had some controversial moments like the 2008 crash gate, which was a whole controversy about Renault crashing one of their cars on purpose to help them win a race, and also some goofy moments like when the team became Lotus, Kimi Räikkönen nearly made them go bankrupt since he had a contract to be paid $50,000 for every point he scored, and he scored 390. But anyways, Alpine is a team that fell from grace. They used to be top contenders, but due to messy management, they have fallen off.
Love Family Guy.
Fucking cock!
Despite getting funding from like 20 different celebrities, including Ryan Reynolds, that they even made a Deadpool-themed car. So Alpine is still a midfield / backmarker team. They don't perform bad or good, mostly in between, though people expect a decline if things get messier, and also for them to not even exist in the coming years.
This is a really good video, by the way. Very well done. McLaren. See, this is another one. If I didn't know any better, I'd say, oh yeah, I'm with McLaren.
McLaren is a team that caters really well towards the younger demographic of F1 fans. They're a team with a history just as rich as Ferrari's, which is why they also get paid a heritage bonus of $30 million a year. And the team has had a fair share of ups and downs, like when I started supporting them in 2016 because of Alonso.
How the hell they can overtake me? 300 meters behind me at the beginning of the straight. I never raced with less power in my life.
That ended up being the worst experience of my life. But the team has changed drastically over the years. They used to cater very well towards veteran fans, but are now far more suitable for younger fans out there. Since, you know, they call their fan base the Papaya Army. Both of their drivers are extremely young, and their social media team is the most active and up to date with the trends. Though Aston Martin does come in as a close second. So McLaren is a fairly light-hearted team with a lot of positive vibes around. So if you're in your mid-20s or in high school, this might be the team for you. However, they are not immune from drama, because holy shit has this team always been in drama no matter what. Now, Sauber is another important team in Formula 1. Now, a lot of people assume that this team is an absolute joke, and as of the past few years, they are not wrong. They can't score
That look like an XRP YouTuber.
points to save their lives. They're being sponsored by a gambling company and also a streaming site filled with idiots that crash their cars.
Oh! Oh! No! No! No!
But the team's performance now really doesn't do justice to Sauber's history. The team is a Swiss motorsport engineering company that started F1 in 1993 and eventually allowed for the iconic debuts of Sergio Perez and Charles Leclerc. The team, though, unfortunately hasn't won any championships and has probably the most depressing record, but they are known as the place where drivers can show their talents to eventually move up to a more competitive team. Since 2023, however, they have just been known as the backmarkers, P19 and P20, the tractors, but thankfully Audi will be taking over the team in 2020.
That's a sick looking car, man. Look at that thing.
26 in hopes to save them.
Yeah, sick ass.
A team sponsored by a car company with a lot of things we can look back on, like the cars they used to make for Hitler. A bit too far back? A bit too far back. Okay, my bad. Mercedes joined F1 in 1954, but left a year later and only came back as a factory team in 2010. But before the team existed, they used to be known as Braun, an F1 team that was bought for a single British pound and has a 100% win rate. It might sound like I just pulled all of that information out of my ass, but if you just pause this real quick, that would explain everything. But after Mercedes took over Braun, this team did so much. Michael Schumacher made his return with them. They made the fastest cars out there.
I'm Jesus! I'm descendant of God!
And
That looked like a Antoine Daniele video.
Lewis Hamilton won multiple championships. But what if I said that those things aren't even the best part? Because the best part about Mercedes was Nico Rosberg outscoring Michael Schumacher and beating Lewis in 2016. So technically, Mercedes was the team where we witnessed a man beat two 7-time world champions in equal machinery, while also being a Monaco-based YouTuber. And then he retired. Baller move.
It's Michael Schumacher.
Hello?
Whoa, wait. Shouldn't we go with Michael? He's 7-time world champion.
Yes, but Nico got twice as many points last season.
But Mercedes is an extremely efficient team. Their team principle is calculated but extremely emotional. And a big part of the team's identity is just Lewis Hamilton. But he's left to join Ferrari, so that leaves Mercedes with the same identity crisis as Aston Martin. Racing Bulls is essentially Red Bull the sequel. They're Red Bull's second team that is most recently known as VCAR, but a lot of fans know them better as Toro Rosso, Minardi, or AlphaTauri. And since they are pretty much Red Bull's slower junior team,
I'm gonna race F1's shortest driver.
That's not true.
In these mega trucks.
Red Bull has a lot of control over them, from which drivers get hired, fired, or moved up to the senior team if they're desired, and those decisions are made by Helmut Marko, Red Bull's chief headhunter, who has put a lot of people, mostly upcoming talents, in the team.
Look at
Max
that thing.
Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, Nick De Vries, Yuki Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, Sebastian Vettel, and Danny Kvyat. And I know, holy shit, that is a lot of drivers. And the reason why is because the team is extremely harsh, just like Red Bull. If the drivers perform, they go up to the senior team, but if they don't, they either get put back in the junior team or get sent straight to hell.
Son, I'm very disappointed in you. But as long as you're safe, that's all that really matters.
Thanks, Dad.
But one more thing.
Yes, Dad?
And finally, we have Williams, which is another great example of a team that fell from grace. They have been a huge part of Formula One, one of the most successful teams in the sport, actually, which had iconic drivers like Alain Prost, Nelson Piquet, and Ayrton Senna, and their records are so impressive that when you take a look at the team now, you can't help but say, what the fuck happened? And well, it's funding. Williams, Haas, and Sauber are pure racing teams, unlike Ferrari, Mercedes, or Renault, which are car manufacturers, which makes funding very challenging for them. Even with Williams also getting the $10 million heritage funding from F1. And this lack of money has resulted in miss after miss after miss. And therefore, the team is at a low point. But what I still like the most about them is how they try to improve. Williams is a team on a journey to get back to the top. And with a team principle that's well-spoken, motivated employees and drivers, you can't help but to root for them. So that's all there is for Williams. I know I probably missed some of their history and maybe some interesting facts about the team. So if you guys want to drop a couple more facts in the comment section, feel free to do so. Like James Vowles going to Carlos Sainz's hotel room to sign his Williams contract, apparently. But anyways, that is it for every F1 team explained. I hope this video answers all your questions.
Hell no. I got about a million other questions.
If you're new,
but it's alright, because I don't know nothing about the F1.
Or was a fun rehash if you're an older fan. But as happy as I am to be able to explain all these teams to you guys,
I think I would go with, if I seriously wanted to root for a team, I mean, I'd have to root for, I think, the underdogs. I'm always for the underdog. You know what I mean? I hate when people like Ferrari, if obviously that's the easy one, oh yeah, well, they call them the idiots. But yeah, I'd have to go with the underdogs. I'd have to go with what was it called again? I already forgot. I like underdogs. I like that name better. Broke. I like broke. Broke is good. See, you don't want to get Ferrari, Mercedes, even Aston Martin. I'd be like, nah, I'm not rooting for them. No, maybe I'd go for Papaya. I don't know. I'd actually have to start watching some of the races for me to actually maybe try to get interested in this. I know. I think I played it on video games. Does that count? That I do it. I did like playing it on video games. Anyway, hopefully it helped somebody out there far more than me, because I guess you have to know a little bit. You have to know a little bit about Formula One for this video to maybe help you, or you'd be like, okay. Where if you know nothing of Formula One, yeah, this doesn't help. This doesn't help at all. I would have just, if I was any dummy off the street, I'd be like, oh, Ferrari, of course. I'm here for Ferrari. That's just your very good, basic, dumb answer. If you want to act like you know a little something. Ferrari, yeah, Ferrari. Ferrari. Okay, anyway, every F1 team explained in 14 minutes. That's it. You know what? Hold up. Let me make sure.
I'm still sad.
Oh, shit. You guys are about to yell at me. I was going to miss something at the end. I'm sorry, hold on.
You're an older fan. But as happy as I am to be able to explain all these teams to you guys, I'm still sad that this video was unable to answer the real question in all of F1. That being, who was top and who was bottom in Carlos Sainz's hotel room? Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. Let that sink in. Because I don't know the answer to that, and James Vowles said it was shockingly close to dating. So now I'm too afraid to ask. I'm thinking Carlos is bottom, though.
Oh, shit.
Because they don't call him Chili unless he's ready to take the heat.
Ooh. Oh. This guy's a little comedian who made this video, huh? You guys would have been mad had you missed that. That was interesting at the end. Okay, so now that you've seen that very important information, I said take care, peace out, and have a good night.